General Hospital spoilers for the next 3 weeks, July 14th to August 1st, reveal that Britt Westbourne will return to the picture while Rocco Falconeri plays with fire. Jocelyn Jacks will also scurry as anarchy breaks out, so there'll be something to look forward to. Trina Robinson and Jocelyn Jacks will have a catch-up session from July 14th to 18th, during which Trina will discuss Kai Taylor's treachery and her choice to dump him. Later, Jocelyn will need to think quickly and take action. There may be a window of opportunity to sneak inside Professor Hank Dalton's lab, or Jocelyn may attempt to prevent Emma Scorpio Drake from entering first. Unfortunately, Anna Devane's investigation into Vaughn's background appears to be leading to his arrest. Anna may discover that Vaughn works for the WSB and question whether Jocelyn does as well. Willow Tate could set off some bells after a run-in with Michael Corinthos, Sasha Gilmore Corbin, and Daisy Gilmore on GH. Will Sasha and Michael consider Willow as a potential Daisy stalker candidate? If so, could a trap facilitate Willow's exposure and Sasha's decision to stay in town with Daisy after all? Although Stella Henry will be concerned about Curtis, he will keep her in the dark. Curtis may be unwilling to discuss his marital troubles and the worsening scenario with Drew Kane. Drew will continue to make deceptive tactics, affecting Curtis, Nina Reeves, and many others on canvas. Sonny Corinthos will under pressure to make a sacrifice. It's easy to envision Carly pressuring Sonny to depart for his island in Puerto Rico, if she believes things are becoming too unsafe for their family in PC. After Lulu Spencer urges Jason Morgan not to talk to Rocco about Britt again, she will spar with Dante. Lulu may get enraged if Dante attempts to be understanding about Brooke Lynn Quartermain's error. Dante can't forget Brooke Lynn left the file in Rocco's hands, but he also knows she's regretful and didn't intend for it to happen. Dante may look at Rocco's laptop and discover that he has been emailing Liesl Obrecht, which may surprise him later. Liesl will contact Ben alias Rocco, and will most likely express her gratitude that he has reached out. Will Rocco and Obrecht meet in person for a question and answer session from July 21st to 25th? Rocco still has questions about Britt, so Liesl may reveal more about her. Now that Rocco understands his true birth story, it appears that he feels more connected to Britt. Of course, Lulu will freak out if she discovers Rocco has made touch with Liesl. If Lulu tries to shut this down, it may backfire and make Rocco feel that she is impeding his attempts at closure. Kelly Thibault is set to return to GH before the end of July, which could spark drama between July 28th and August 1st. Is Britt, or perhaps her clone, stuck in Professor Dalton's research lab? Could Thibault's character appear somewhere else that is shocking instead? Regardless, if this is Britt, Liesl may be in for a lovely mother-daughter reunion. Rocco will undoubtedly be interested in any Britt developments, since he appears to be building a bond with her in the future. Back with Kai, he is determined to repair his relationship with Trina. Will Kai make a spectacular gesture in hopes of showing his love? Time will tell, but the best thing that might happen is for Kai to finally see Drew for who he is. That might be the only way to help Kai and Trina reconcile. According to General Hospital spoilers, love will continue to be complex in Port Charles, so we'll keep you updated on any new romantic developments. Thursday, July 17, 2025. Dante begs Lulu to cease her vendetta against BLQ. Nina alerts Sonny that she has been blackmailed, and Anna informs Felicia of her concerns regarding Vaughn. Joss stops by the pool and talks with Danny. When she sees Dalton, she explains she's there for work. She rushes over to the professor carrying a towel. He points out that she's up early and wants to go swimming. As he enters the water, he establishes eye contact with the woman who is looking at the bag he left beside the pool. Joss texts Vaughn to let him know something is happening. She summons Danny and informs him that the woman is a generous tipper, and that he should pay her close attention. Danny is concerned about her when she goes for the bag. Dalton and Joss discuss his emails. He goes off to get to a meeting. Joss walks over to the bag with the tracking device, drops something and crouches to inspect it. Dalton returns. They have an awkward conversation, and he goes. Joss observes as the lady picks up the bag on her way out. Dalton stands in the shadows watching Joss. Anna tells Felicia at her office that she believes Vaughn is involved in a WSB operation. That doesn't surprise Felicia, who reminds her that they're not compelled to discuss that with her. Anna is certain that the WSB is interested in Dalton, but she is unsure why. She isn't sure whether Vaughn is working with or against the WSB. Vaughn's cover is too perfect, and she knows this is a surveillance operation. Her pal advises that if she's correct, she should discontinue this. Felicia guesses this about Anna's dignity when Jack pushed her out of the WSB. Anna is anxious about Emma's safety. On a plane, Sasha praises Jason for accompanying her out of the country and trusting her when she stated someone was threatening her kid. She wonders how ripped up Michael must be. Jason feels certain he made the correct decision. He updates her on the recent attacks on Sunny. They discuss Monica and her strength. Jason is pleased that his son can spend so much time with her. Danny, according to Sasha, was always nice to her and Daisy. She knows it's difficult for Jason to live with Tracy. He claims she's not all evil. Sasha says she may miss her a little. Jason confesses Tracy is right about some of his decisions. He simply knows he has to keep his son safe. She informs him that his son is worried that he is sad and would want to see him with someone. Sasha claims he always puts others ahead of himself. Does he ever think about what he wants? He tells her he has everything he desires. She wonders if he ever feels lonely. He doesn't think he should be dating given everything that's going on. She believes there's a woman out there who can get past Carly. Sasha believes he deserves better and hopes he gets it. When they arrive, they go meet Robert and present him to Daisy. Sunny arrives at the Crimson office and confronts Nina, why she lied to the press about him. She reveals how Tracy is blackmailing her. She informs him that she despised everything she said, but had to do it to protect her family. He understands Tracy's bitterness and vindictiveness, and believes she was right to defend her daughter. She advises that the second section of the interview will focus on his questionable mental state. She attempted to shift the subject, but the reporter pursued that point. He knew it would happen eventually, and it wasn't on her. Nina informs Tracy that this time, she feels completely justified because of Gio and the risk he may be placing him in. Sunny confesses she is not wrong. He has previously told Gio to stay away from him for his own protection. He understands Tracy's concerns, but he is convinced they are being used by Sidwell. He's not going to let any of that get in the way. She reminds him that Port Charles is blessed to have him, and they talk about the approaching wedding she does not want to prepare. They discuss about their grandchildren, and he remarks that things do not always turn out as you expect. Nina asks him to take care of himself. Dante encounters Lulu in Haven. She has a favor to ask. He insists he will not intercede with his father. She is concerned about Rocco's confusion as a result of all the negative publicity Sunny is receiving. Dante is certain their son will be all right. Lulu blames BLQ for the catastrophe. He believes she just left the file out by mistake. Yeah, right, laments Lulu. He reminds her that the documents were public, and Rocco could have accessed them at any time. He should have informed their son about this years ago. Lulu tells him that he done nothing wrong. He reiterates that this was an accident. She will not accept that. He can't stop her from being upset, but he doesn't want to stay angry. She accuses him of making excuses and encourages him to get Gio to vent his rage on BLQ. He emphasizes that BLQ deserves some grace. Lulu can't understand why he won't put BLQ under the bus to get closer to Gio. He doesn't think it will help them form a family. Dante explains that he and BLQ are both members of his family. She refuses to compromise on this and goes away. Lulu and Sunny meet at the pool and chat about the negative news coverage. She advises him to settle the situation by selling the piers. He reassures her that he is dealing with the situation and will find a solution. Dante visits the PCPD to return to work. Anna has a request for him about the WSB. Albrecht meets Rocco at the cafe. He's astonished she arrived so quickly. She knew the truth would come out soon, so she wanted to see him in person. She admires him for trying to know multiple versions of the truth. It's only reasonable that he'd want to know about her daughter. My daughter was a mess, she says. She was smart but had awful interpersonal skills. Rocco had heard that she was not the best person. Albrecht had no illusions about who she was. She was flawed but strong, unaffected by unnecessary social niceties. People with narrow minds said she was selfish. Rocco believed she was better than she realized. Jason told him that. For someone with brain injury, that Jason can be extremely intelligent, she adds. They discuss how angry his parents are with Britt. Albrecht assures him that Britt loved him very much. She liked him too because he didn't cry often and was quite curious. She acknowledges that she has missed her daughter a lot, and that talking about her has helped. She wants to know more about him. When she finds him gazing at his phone, she decides to leave. He wonders how long she'll be around. She comes and departs. He wants to meet them again and walks away awkwardly. Albrecht goes to see Nina, who is overjoyed with the surprise. Liesel assumes her life is in disarray and wonders how much family mess she has to clear up. General Hospital spoilers indicate that a preview clip has been published for Wednesday, July 16, 2025. Portia Robinson is likely to have a meltdown in today's show. Stella Henry has a beef with Curtis Ashford. Also, Sasha Gilmore Corbin makes a discovery. Continue reading and let's discuss what's coming up on the ABC soap show. Michael Corinthos' big problem. Let us start with Michael, who will face a problem. Someone is threatening Sasha and Daisy Gilmore Corinthos. Even if Willow Tate's intention was to make Sasha appear unstable and insane, Michael believes her. They simply don't know it's Willow yet. Read more. Find out what happened on the most recent episode of General Hospital. Sasha has determined that leaving Port Charles with the baby is the safest option. However, Michael Corinthos is now faced with yet another major decision. Willow, who is appalled, inquires at the hospital about Michael's actions. Nina Reeves' admission. Nina Reeves has some shocking news for Sasha. In the trailer for today's episode, Nina tells Sasha that Daisy's targeting is her responsibility. Sasha's eyes widen, but fans understand Nina isn't at fault. Not for this specific purpose, anyway. Meanwhile, Drew Kane discovers a disintegrating Willow at the hospital. The politician attempts to reassure Willow that Michael will not get away with this. Drew says he'll give Willow's ex-husband a taste of his own medicine. I wonder if Drew will use Jacinda to set up Michael. Trina Robinson and Jocelyn Jack spawn General Hospital spoilers for the next episode. State that Trina Robinson will talk to her best friend about Kai Taylor. What would Jocelyn Jack say once Trina explains what Kai did? Trina is upset, and she has good right to be. However, I believe Kai sincerely loves Trina. Read this. General Hospital spoilers. Will Britt's return restore romance in Jason's life? Wednesday, July 16, 2025. It is also hinted that Jason Morgan will engage in a difficult conversation. Could this have something to do with Tracy Quartermaine? Stella also confronts Curtis about her be with him. Furthermore, Portia screams bloody murder while smashing items in her office. It sounds like Portia is about to lose everything. Is there any chance she can thwart Drew's revenge plot and avoid prison? Which narrative are you most looking forward to witnessing on Wednesday, July 16, 2025? Share your opinions in the comments area below. Remember to keep watching ABC soap operas to see what happens next. Rocco's mood had recently transformed, and not in subtle ways. Something was growing inside him, a combination of wrath, perplexity, and restlessness, and his teachers at school had begun to notice. Dante and Lulu attempted to dismiss it as a phase that boys go through, especially after so many changes. But the reality was, Port Charles hadn't been stable for anyone in a long time, and Rocco was soaking up the insanity like a sponge. He'd been spotted skipping homework, mouthing off, sneaking away, and most recently, lighting a pack of matches behind the school gym. Nothing caught fire. But the image was enough to send Dante into complete parental panic. At the same time, Jocelyn Jax had her hands full. With nursing school constraints, her confusing feelings regarding Dex, and the developing stress in her family, she was stretched thinner than she let on. She was wearing the same brave face Carly had perfected years before, but it was crumbling. Trina sent her a text, which she ignored. Dex left a voicemail which she declined to play. And now something else had entered her orbit, something that made her heart race in a horrible way. Rocco was hanging out in sketchy areas, acting as if he didn't care who saw him breaking the laws. And she cared. Perhaps too much. Then came Britt. Back in Port Charles, she walked into General Hospital as if she had never left, as if the misery of Huntington's disease didn't follow her every step. She raised her chin up with defiance, as if daring anyone to treat her differently. Her homecoming was more than simply personal. It was about recovering space, purpose, and possibly even atonement. She knew rumors would follow her down the corridors, inquiries she couldn't always answer, and some people would shun her entirely. However, Britt was no longer willing to play it safe. Britt's timing could not have been more accurate or unfortunate. Within days of her return, she caught Rocco attempting to sneak into the hospital basement while lying about a misplaced item. She did not report him, but she also did not tolerate it. She trapped him in the hallway, arms crossed, her cold gaze fixed on his restless form. "Do you think I've never seen this performance before?" she asked, her tone harsh. "You are behaving out for a cause. Do you want to talk about it, or should I simply call Dante?" Rocco froze. He hadn't expected her to see through him so easily. He expected most adults to be too distracted or polite to object. But Britt was sharp and impatient, and she was not afraid to tell the truth, even if it hurt. Later that night, Rocco found himself tossing and turning in bed, wondering about what she had said. He'd never truly talked about what was going on in his head, not with his parents, not with his instructors, and certainly not with Jocelyn, even though he observed her from a distance as if she had some kind of answer he couldn't name. There was a fire within him, and not just in the literal sense. Every day, it burned more hotter. Meanwhile, Jocelyn's circumstances worsened. She'd heard murmurs at Jeech. Britt is back, Jason isn't, Sunny is acting strangely, and Nina is up to something again. And somewhere in the midst of it all, she observed Trina backing away, Spencer looking disturbed, and Cameron hardly smiling. It was as if everyone was bearing a silent weight, with no one sharing the burden. She considered texting her mother but stopped short. Carly had her own issues, and Jocelyn wasn't ready to acknowledge she wasn't in control. When she finally confronted Rocco, discovering him skulking around the docks late one afternoon, things did not go well. "What are you doing out here?" she demanded, arms folded across her chest, her hair blowing in the wind. "None of your business," Rocco replied, tucking his hands into his sweatshirt. "Do you think you're the only one who is angry? We've all lost people, Rocco. We all had to grow up too quickly." "I didn't ask for your therapy," he stated quietly but sharply. She flinched, not at the words themselves but at the rawness of them. Rocco was not only toying with fire, he was becoming it. Jocelyn did not back down, though. She reached forward and firmly clutched his shoulder, surprising both of them. "You are not alone, okay? I understand what it's like to want to smash something simply to feel like you're not breaking inside." That hit home. He didn't say anything, but the rigidity in his body relaxed just enough to indicate he had heard her. Back in the hospital, Britt was causing trouble in other ways. Her reappearance had resulted in staff meetings, anxious looks, and quiet discussions. But she was resolved to accomplish more than simply survive. She offered to assist with a program for troublesome teenagers, discreetly hinting that GH could benefit from a genuine outreach to children who fall through the cracks. Dante, having heard about it through the grapevine, reached out. He was having trouble figuring out how to reach Rocco. His kid wasn't communicating to him like he used to, and Lulu's health didn't provide any easy comfort. So he met Britt for coffee and listened as she explained her proposal. "Do you think you can get through to him?" Dante inquired, wary but optimistic. "I think he's looking for someone who won't treat him like a child or a criminal," she told me. "I might be the wrong person in every way, but I might also be the right one." Meanwhile, Jocelyn was coping with her own issues. Dex had arrived uninvited, asking questions she did not want to answer. Why did she avoid him? Was she still involved in Sunny's world? Could she ever truly trust someone again? "I don't know what I want," she said, her voice shaking. "I assumed I did, but everything feels different now." He moved closer, but she backed away. "I need space," she stated, and she meant it. In the midst of her own perplexity, she kept thinking of Rocco, the youngster who looked so much like her when she was his age. Angry, grieving, pushed towards danger because it felt better than being powerless. She could not save him, but perhaps she might help him realize that he didn't have to go through it alone. Later that week, a fire broke out at the old Pier 47 storage facility, where some youths had been sneaking in to goof around. The fire brigade claimed it was little and confined, but the terror it instilled was instantaneous. Jocelyn's heart plummeted as she heard and dashed to the scene. Rocco had been there. Someone noticed him jogging. They discovered him an hour later, startled but unharmed, hiding behind the community center. His face was splattered with mud, his knuckles scratched, and his normally guarded eyes were filled with something resembling sadness. Dante was the first to approach him, pulling him into a tight hug that felt like an anchor. "You scared me," he muttered. "You truly scared me." Rocco was silent for a long time before asking, "Will Mom ever wake up?" And there it was. The actual fire. Not the matches. Not the insurrection. Just the agonizing unknowing of a youngster mourning his mother, seeking answers that the world could not provide. Britt arrived later, sitting near him and picking at the ragged edges of his hoodie. "I used to burn things too," she admitted nonchalantly. "Not literally. However, I made some mistakes. Hurt people. I hurt myself. Why? Because it was easier than being honest about my needs." He gazed up at her. "What did you need?" "A second chance," she replied. The stillness between them extended but was not uncomfortable. It was healing. By the end of the week, things had not been repaired, but they were moving. Britt's teen program was being approved by the hospital board. Jocelyn agreed to help facilitate peer mentoring. And Rocco began showing up again. At school. Therapy. At family gatherings, even when he didn't say much. In a town like Port Charles where secrets are as hot as fire, healing can begin with the smallest spark. A girl chose to care even though she didn't have to. A doctor returns when she may have vanished. A child set down the matches not because he was instructed to, but because he wanted to. And for once, that was sufficient.